Hi guys, Gareth here from Heartfelt Horsemanship. I'm going to do a follow-up video on Rio. The horse is not quite tame. Now, a few people have asked questions about, well, if he's untamed, but you guys talk about the fact that he has been haltered. He's never had his feet done, but he moved on an area where his feet are nice and worn. But we spoke about how he's been getting his vaccinations. And people said, well, why are you guys struggling to catch him if he's clearly been handled before? Now, there's a mode of handling horses which a horse can stay untamed and wild. And what a lot of these bigger studs do, which, you know, don't go through an imprint and handle the babies, they will push horses through a crush, crush pen, get through. Maybe the horse, if it's farting a lot, they will do a twitch on the nose and do the injections that way. That makes it harder for us when it gets to this stage, because the horse's only experience of humans is absolute terror, restraint, and stuff done to it. Now, we completely understand that that is how these studs have been working, and that when they, to make themselves profitable, they don't have the staff to come through and handle 40, 50 horses. So I'm going to work on getting a halter on Rio today. We did do it yesterday. We've got a video, it's just our audio kind of dropped out. We will work on editing that video a little so you guys have the in-between step. Just a reminder, this is a huge paddock. I am not putting him in any corners.
We're actually working kind of in a forested area, so there are places for him to really evade, and if he chooses to get away and hide from us, he can. But what I think you're going to see is, I think that we're going to keep building on what we have going. I find it interesting that he's kind of standing off on his own right now, and he goes, wait, they're here for me, oh my goodness. And maybe his buddies will come in and kind of help hold him as they have been doing in the past. But let's just see what Gareth gets today, and I promise we'll get the video of the editing on the previous video up for you guys here shortly. But enjoy, and I'll kind of talk you through Gareth's process.
My expectation is so Sunny and Blue down there are his buddies. When he feels the pressure, I expect he's going to go to them, and that's fine. I'll just walk with him, and having him feel comfortable about his herd mates makes it an easier situation for me. Okay, guys, go.
Alright, so Gareth is going to be, he's not approaching him in a sneaky manner. He has the halter visible, so it's not like Rio's going to think that we're just going to jump on him and get a rope on him. So as soon as Rio gave Gareth a little bit of focus and acknowledgement, Gareth retreated. That's about all the pressure it takes for these horses to start feeling pressure and feeling the release of pressure. I think there's a lot of negativity about the term pressure and release and the, sort of different facets of horsemanship. Positive reinforcement versus negative reinforcement. And what I kind of hope to see here is that we're only out here following him around. When he does offer a positive attempt to stop and acknowledge Gareth, I'm even going to back up too so he doesn't feel my pressure and my talking as something negative. We'll back up and give him just a little bit of space and some time to think about it. So if we operate on the principle pressure motivates and release teaches, a lot of people think that has to be a lot of pressure for this horse, and that's where the practice of round pinning might deserve a good look right now, because the more we realize how easy it is to gain a horse's focus, knowing that their eye and their ear is on us, the more we realize that we don't have to put a ton of pressure and make it a dusty, sweaty, stressful, horrible experience for them. As soon as he tries to acknowledge Gareth, Gareth is going to retreat. And this is what I call building draw. As much as we want to be able to tell our horse where to take their feet, we want to be able to draw them to us, because that's ultimately our goal here, isn't it? To have this horse want to come and engage with Gareth. You can see the paddock is huge. We are willing to stay out here as long as it takes. You can see he feels me as pressure right now, so I retreated. We're willing to stay out here as long as it takes. for him to go, you know what, this isn't such a bad deal. I am suspecting he might move closer to his buddies over there for a little bit of comfort and guidance. I kind of see Blue over there taking a look and going, hey, it's just Gareth, no big deal. We have Cherokee somewhere in the trees behind us. Appaloosas have great camouflage. So he really is still surrounded by his friends, but they're way farther away than they have been in the last couple of videos. So this is really a matter of choice for Rio. Horses are innately curious. They want to know if everything in their environment is safe or not safe. That's how they process things. Comfort is their first priority. If they are uncomfortable, they don't have time to eat because their head's going to be up looking around trying to assess their safety. And someone in the herd always has to be alert as much as they're alert for themselves. That was absolutely stunning. As much as they're alert for themselves, they also have to be alert for their herd mates. So these guys are showing him the ropes by, you know, they're kind of creeping in and going, hey, you're making Rio a little bit nervous. And I suspect they're coming in to make sure that Rio really is in fact not being, you know, harassed and harmed. And when you look at the concept of pressure and release, and what you would typically see in a catching situation for round pinning or herding a herd of horses through a crush, this is a very different picture of how to put pressure on. I have achieved this skill myself. We have dozens of students who have learned to achieve this skill, and I hope that it'll give you a different idea of how to do this on the horse's terms, allowing the horse to set the timeline, and without it being a point of absolute harassment in the taming process. Now, when horses have been worked through a crush and have had, you know, negative experiences for or with humans doing things to them, you know, such as gilding and feet and, you know, vaccinations and deworming and whatnot, they do have a negative feeling about tight spaces. So we've tried to take out that stress by working out here. It's a beautiful bit of draw. Gareth even put some body language in there that said, please come to me. And Rio really gave it a try. So I think you can see that the method is causing him to be very curious. I'm going to try and retreat too so he doesn't think two predators are hunting him. I'm trying to make sure that we keep the shots clean for you guys so you can really see what's going on. And so yes, it takes patience. Gareth has all the patience in the world for horses. I am not a patient person, but I am a person with a ton of knowledge, and I'm willing to spend a full day if necessary proving to a horse that I don't intend on catching them and doing something to them that is going to be frightening. That doesn't mean that a horse is always going to be feeling safe through the training process. Right now we're trying to give him a bank account of feeling safe with us and near us and with us approaching without them feeling entirely trapped. You know, Rio is strong enough, you know, all horses are strong enough, usually little tiny ponies are fast enough that if he really didn't want to participate, if he wasn't going to give this a try, you know, he would have been out of here a long time ago. So the experiences that he has had have been positive enough for him to at least stop and give Gareth a try on this. Gareth is employing our forelock rub. We described that in an earlier video about really creating the bond through the hormones dopamine, serotonin, oxytocin. And those are the parts of us that we create to build connection. This is a pretty quick catch. I think the most important thing that we saw here is, first off, he didn't try and leave. He stayed engaged with Gareth. I think he felt a little more pressure from me today, which means he's becoming more aware and far less shut down, which is a good thing. Horses that have had previously bad experiences catching end up becoming harder. I have a tendency to prefer horses that have had minimal handling, even if that minimal handling is not how I would do things. It's quite easy to take a horse from this point and cause them to change their minds about life and be tamed. You know, horses standing out there, you see his buddies standing out there, and they're completely happy, completely safe, and they go, well, these guys have never tried to eat us. Maybe they don't think horse tastes nice. And that's usually what causes a horse to be afraid. They're pretty sure that we are in predator mode always. Now, we have buddies coming in and going, hey, see, you can do this too. I have a feeling that today, since the herd isn't so focused on holding him still, then we're actually going to get bugged in our video. We have Blue the Black Poco Bueno colt coming in for reassurance. That's his friend. He says, see, you're okay, dude. He checks on his friend, he checks on Gareth, and he says, I see you're nervous, but it's fine. I realize that's probably anthropomorphic, but sometimes we have to be a little anthropomorphic to help humans understand what's going on. Sonny came close, but he's not really bothered. He actually gets a little bit jealous when he doesn't get enough love when he comes in. And now you see Rio is going, oh, this isn't so bad. What we didn't show in the last video is that I haltered and unhaltered him a couple of times before we let him go. Just so that way we're getting repetitions and practice and proof that he doesn't need to be so worried. You know, his head's up, he is alert, but he's not shut down. You can see he's blinking, his ears are moving, you know, we may still have a lot of nose twitching, but he is, you know, he's actually going, okay, that forelock rub thing that you guys do, I really like that. And I'm finding even with some of my younger students that, you know, begin and end everything they do with the forelock rub. It's almost like the horses come in and demand, hey, that worried me. Don't forget to do that forelock rub thing. I've even had horses who were afraid of literally everything in a human environment begin rubbing their forelock on things that frighten them. So it's a pretty powerful tool. So if that's all you pick up from this, that would still be helping you keep your horses relaxed and start off your training in a relaxed state. You can see his head's coming down, Blue's coming in again for support. And this is a really cool thing. So I think for just a couple of days work, and actually a very short amount of work, Rio's not nearly as untamed as, you know, he looked in the beginning. I'm sure he still has a long way to go, but once this part goes good, taking him through the process of our 4 core movements will be easy because the other horses did it to him the day that he arrived. If you go back and look at my Instagram page, Jamie Lynn Heartfelt, you will see a bunch of photos of the boys moving him around and doing what horses do to help horses relax. And that's what the theory is behind how we start teaching a horse to move around us and feel safe. Gareth, what do you have going on over here?
Okay, I just wanted to quickly mention, and it's really a reiteration from the first video. I don't know how much the audio dropped out of yesterday's video, but we spoke about the temptation to get to his feet, or, you know, he's underweight. I have a suspicion of ulcers being at play. The best, for me, the best treatment for ulcers is a Mepricot, which is, we've got to squirt that into his mouth. He's really shy of that. If I start that process now, I'm going to undo a lot, and then I've got to go back and fix. So for me right now, he's on loads of green grass. Green grass is a buffer for stomach acid, so he's not going to be in the pain of extreme ulcers. So we're going to give him a chance for that, get him used to us before we start having to squirt things in down his throat. Because that's all he's known of humans in the past, so we end up back in.
Remember, we want to be doing things for the horse, so the horse feels like we're doing something for them. And even some of the things that we have to do to horses are just generally unpleasant in their nature. But if we can do it in such a way that we sort of honor the horse's innate desire to protect themselves and appreciate that, none of these things need to be a fight. Doing their feet doesn't need to be a fight. Doing immunizations and injections and all of the things that we do to make sure our horses stay healthy, none of those things need to be stressful. If we start out by teaching a horse to lead well, which starts with being willing to put their head in a halter, we can start everything else out on a right foot and have them have a pretty positive, brave sort of vibe about the situations. And through repetition, they'll go, you know, okay, once in a while they, you know, put funny stuff in my mouth, or they pick up my feet, which I wouldn't normally let a predator do to me. And it's really okay. You know, the rest of our horses, you know, don't seem to mind too much when we do those things with them. They may not love it, but it is what we are required to do to keep them healthy. So this is an alternative to chasing a horse into a corner and having a bunch of people jump on it and doing everything where the horse is on adrenaline, which only reinforces that what we're doing is going to be terrifying and potentially deadly to them. Remember, when horses are scared, they aren't going, ooh, you know, it's not like us about ego. You know, I'm afraid of what that person's going to think of me. You know, that's where a lot of our human fears come from. Our egos and loss of dignity. For horses, they go, I think what you're going to do to me could potentially harm me or potentially take away my ability for flight. And when we start changing their mind with that and letting it be a choice to stay with us, letting it be a choice to come to us, letting it be a choice to move in the way that we ask them to move, they start choosing to do things with humans kind of on their own. You'll see very quickly, I have a feeling this guy is going to start tripping all over himself to earn releases and forelock rubs. We're definitely going to keep you guys in the loop on these videos because this is just a spectacular guy. He's a very well-bred horse. He doesn't have too much negative baggage, and I think his development is going to come along quite quickly. I already see that he's picking up some weight. He's starting to look at Gareth. You know, Gareth is the one who brings forelock rubs and food and companionship, and the rest of the horses seem to feel that way, and I think Rio's starting to catch on quite easily. He also comes from bloodlines that are fairly placid too, that love humans. That's not to say that any horse that isn't well bred and has been through more trauma, far more trauma than this guy, doesn't end up feeling the same way at the end of the day, and it's the same process. We just so rarely get a chance to have a horse that we get to share that with you guys. So I think this has been a great educational process. We are going to keep you guys in the loop, and I think you're going to see Rio is going to become like the rest of our babies here, who want their forelock rubs, who want mutual grooming from a human. This is my Sonny. 2 moons, he's a cool son of a gun as a 4-year-old stallion, and he's just the biggest doll and thrives on attention. And you know, I think he came to us very well halter trained, but didn't know much else about life, and his development has been pretty seamless and chilled. He works on his own, he rides out on his own, he just makes his mama all kinds of proud. He is a bit of an attention hog, so I think he's kind of claimed Rio as his herd mate. So I'm not surprised at all to see that he is getting very involved in what Gareth is doing here, and maybe offering his herd mate some reassurance, probably in hopes of some mutual grooming. Sonny and another horse, I don't know if you guys remember my boy Monkey, we used to come out and do a mutual grooming thing several times a day, and my boys pulled away from Gareth's boys to do that with me on a daily basis. It was a really cool feeling to get to be a part of the herd in that way and know it was something that they look forward to because they were the ones that initiated it. So Sonny's making a request to go to work this morning. I hope you guys have, please feel free to ask some questions. We're happy to answer, and I'll let Gareth finish off.
Guys, just want to quickly give one more point here. So, perfect is the enemy of good. Now, what I'm looking for when I'm getting relaxed is head to be level or below the wither, because that indicates I'm going in across the adrenaline. And looking for softening of the arms and that pursed lip to get relaxed, get the droopy lip. But for me to work through that, it could take ages, and then I am not giving him the release that he's needing. So right now, I'm accepting, I will take him tolerating me touching him, letting him feel okay, not necessarily all the way relaxed. We will build towards all the way relaxed. But and I've seen this with some trainers where the horse comes in at this stage, I get them to connect, and then they try and get to that level of acceptance. So complete relaxation really quickly. I think it's counterproductive. So I would rather, you'll notice, this session that we did now, that we filmed, this is the entire session for a horse at this stage. We will, once, as he's feeling better at things, we start lengthening those sessions. Guys, remember, if you're watching this stuff and you realize that this is, obviously there's a lot more going on here than we can teach in a YouTube video. Remember that we do have a correspondence course so you can study at home with all the theory behind what we do, the discussions about the neurochemistry and how horses learn, the psychology aspect of it. We have that it's not just books that you've got to read and figure things out. We do